Welcome to the Denim Workshop. We're going to show you how you go from this to this. First, you're going to need a good pair of jeans, a pair of needle nose pliers, a comfortable seam ripper, snips, and a heavy-duty pair of scissors. We are going to start off with the belt loops. These have reinforced stitches at the top and at the bottom. The best way to do this is to start at the back. Try to cut as many of the stitches in the back as you can. And then gently pull between the jeans and the belt loop. You will have to pull apart the jeans and the belt loop to get at the stitches, and just keep pulling and ripping and pulling and ripping, and eventually it will come off. Then you have to go to the bottom part. Same thing. Pick at the stitches, pull them apart, pick at the stitches, pull them apart. And there you go, the first one is off. Now you start and get the rest of them done. Now, if you're going to remove the label, gently place the seam ripper in between the label and the waistband. These can get very delicate after a while with washing, and they sometimes get brittle and fall apart. These can be used as accents on bags, or I've even seen them made into floor mats. They are really neat, and you will need to collect a few of them to use them. Now that you have all of your belt loops off, we're going to start on the waistband. There is a chain stitch that goes along the waistband, and if you're lucky enough to catch it on the first try, it's very easy to do. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily catch it on the first try. If it doesn't work on the first side, go over to the other side, pick a spot, slide the seam ripper in underneath, give it a pick, pull up the thread, give it a pull, see where it goes. Nope, not there. Try again. third time's a charm. Once you get going, just pull on the thread all the way around, and once you get there, it'll make life so much easier once you get the thread off your fingers. Just pop out the other stitch on the other side, pull that thread, and you'll still have to pick the ends where the buttonhole and the button are. And there you go. You have your first waistband. Now we're going to start on the zipper. There are 3 spots where there are reinforced stitches. And if you just start off with breaking some of those stitches, it will make it easier in the end. Find the seams in behind the zipper, and once you get a few stitches picked, you should be able just to give it a pull and it'll come off. The reinforced stitches. Usually take this seam down to the crotch. It makes things easier when you go to cut the legs apart. And there you have your zipper. Has a seam on it, and once you get that seam off, this has a lot of fading on it, so it's a really cool piece of fabric. Now, doesn't that make for an interesting piece of fabric? Now rip apart the rest of the fly and save that for another special project. There, now that you have the fly done, you can go and move on to the pockets. There's reinforced stitching at the ends on the tops of both of the pockets. Just slide the seam ripper in, cut through as many as you can, and then flip it over and do the same thing on the back side. And get at the seam, clip as many stitches as you can, and once you get a good grip, you can give it a tug and pull off the pocket. Now that you've got both the pockets off, we're going to start at the bottom seam. Just slide the seam ripper in between the seam and the outer fabric and cut as many stitches as you can. Take your time, it's very easy here because it wears out a lot and it's very easy to cut the outer fabric. Once you have that done, we're going to go up the side seam all the way to the top. Now, where the pockets are, there are more reinforced stitches. So you might be able to get going pretty good through here. Right up to where the reinforced stitches are. And then you will have to pick at those, and there will be another line of stitching there, so it's reinforced from there all the way up to the waistband. Once you get through the reinforced stitches, you can very easily just pull and break all the stitches on the side, and you're done. Now do the other side. Now once that's all done, clean up as many threads as you can because there'll be lots. And now we're going to start with the cutting. This is the yoke. You cut down the seam and just cut those off. Now we're going to start on the pant legs. It's easier to do this with the side that the seam is on beside your scissors. And that way you shouldn't cut into any of the fabric. And just carefully cut down into the crotch and then down the side seam of the leg. And that will give you the big piece of fabric. Gives you your first big piece of fabric. Now continue with the side seam, and this will cut apart your front pieces. Now once you cut apart this last piece, this is going to give you your seam. And you can save these for some really cool projects. Now comes the fun part. Dig out your handy dandy needle nose pliers, and you're going to have to cut these rivets. Sometimes they come apart really easy. Unfortunately, this pair of jeans was not easy, so you had to go back and forth from one side to the other and just pinch and pull and pinch and pull, and eventually you will cut the rivet. And once you do that, you can pull it apart with the needles of the pliers and pull out any pieces that sometimes might get left within the jeans. Now once you finally get these rivets out, you're going to need your seam ripper and break apart the stitches. Just give them a pull. This will come apart pretty easily. And then go up through the seam and cut this out. Now you have your first front piece done, and we're going to work on the pocket. Usually these will come apart pretty easily. You just pull on the threads, save that little bit of fabric for something. And I save the pocket material, the white material, for stuffing for projects. Just carefully work around, and once you get the seam started, you can pull and take those apart, and that will go usually pretty easily. And there is your first pocket. Now we're going to go on to the coin pocket. I like to save these with the rivets in them so I don't take the rivets apart. I just pull apart the white part of the pocket once you get all your seams done, and then just cut the fabric where the rivet is. And there you have your first pair of denim jeans taken apart. Thank you for watching the Denim Workshop. Please like and subscribe so that you can see any of our next videos.